last time. Do you want to go all the way back to Anna?
Like,
Do you want to? Yeah.
Like
Do you
more
want to
comfortable?
relax? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was probably like sitting a little funny. It's
No,
like,
that's
this
because
is better.
Farzin was right in front. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So you were replicating her.
I think so.
She was nervous, so she was in front. So Anna was in front with her.
Yeah.
And now you're relaxed because you've done it so many times. So I'm like, you can also relax.
I'm almost like taking my shoes off, crossing my legs.
That's what we want. That's
like,
what we
I'm
want.
like nap. Yeah.
This is us relaxing after work day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you work from home today?
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Are we recording?
Yes, we are.
Oh, we are constantly okay.
Hello, everyone. We have our very good friend and my favorite person in the room, Beatriz. We've known each other for quite some time now, and I really enjoy your company and spending time with you. You are one of the most happiest people I've met. So I love that. Your happiness is contagious. Do you want to introduce yourself? Talk about what you're building, what you're up to.
I'd be honored. So first of all, thank you, Anna. Thank you, Nida, for having me here. I'm Beatriz Zanatelli. A little bit about me. Background, I'm a soon-to-be new Canadian citizen.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yes, a huge moment of honor here and just so much, I'm just so grateful and proud of it. I've been in Canada for almost 7 years, and I've had a few businesses here, and the one that I've been working on, and as I like to describe it, it's my soul in the shape of a business, is called Smart Goose Academy, where we help newcomers, immigrants, and expats build trust in their new environment. So help them thrive, and we focus on storytelling, building their personal brand, cross-cultural communication, and growth mindset, all of those things in that area, and I just love it so much. So in a nutshell, that's me.
That's
and
amazing.
Also mom, wife, daughter, and all of the other things that we juggle along the way.
Yes. Let's talk a little more about Smart Goose Academy. You came to Canada, you decided to help people, right? And you speak a lot about your journey here. And what I really love about you is you don't speak about what you do at Smart Goose Academy. You speak about how you can help immigrants and, immigrants who are new here. How do they make their own, space, make friends? How do they get about doing different things that they need to do? So what started that whole journey, and why Smart Goose was the name that you chose?
Okay, so, geese, they migrate, right? So they go back and forth. And one of the things I love, it's like for me, it's a symbol in Canada. And we start, when the spring is coming, you start seeing the geese around. It's just like, oh, okay, the weather is changing. It's good. So, and then I don't know why it came to me, and just like, smart goose, like the smart geese that are thriving and navigating and pursuing what they want. So that's kind of the origin of the name. And what started it was, I came to Canada bringing another business, which was an ed tech company focused on social emotional education for kids. And being immersed in this ecosystem, I was part of numerous accelerators, programs, and incubators, all of that type of things. And I started to notice a gap that was missing, especially for us. I was an entrepreneur pretty much my whole life, and I started chatting with many other entrepreneurs as well, and I noticed that they had some struggles in common. And one of them was, even though they had their business back home, they were thriving back home, that couldn't be translated here, because you come here, you have no network, you have zero connections, you don't know how to call a plumber if you need one, so like from the basic things to the most complex, and how are you going to build partnerships, how are you going to grow your business. So I started noticing that people, even though they were super successful in their home country, they struggle with the same things, and how to share their story, how to show up more confidently, how to engage in meaningful connections and conversations, not just collecting contacts, so not just networking, but building relationships. So there, I was supporting already many colleagues of mine in this journey with the little experience that I had collected along the way. So when I talked to a mentor of mine, and I told her, I'm like, Miriam, which is a mentor and a dear friend, I'm like, Miriam, this is what I think this is my calling. This is the business I want to build. She's like, you're already doing that. I'm like, yes, true, but now I'll have more format. And she's like, yes, and you'll get paid for it because you do it very well. So you should go and focus on it. So there, it's when Smart Goose Academy started taking shape. And then I just took the leap and like, okay, I'm going for it. People need it. It's something I love doing. I did it on my free time, so why not do it as a business? Then people will sense the passion and the purpose, and it's been good so far. So we're gonna come around 2 years pretty soon. So it's been growing, and I'm very grateful for it. So.
That's amazing. And to grow something that you're passionate about as a business, you can tell, right?
Yes.
And that's when people can tell too, because you have like a lot more skin in the game and you really want to do it, and you're successful at it because you feel and you're passionate about it.
100%. And one of the things I tell a lot my clients is that when we're building confidence in a new country, one of the best and fastest way and easiest way, I would say, to build that is through contribution.
Yeah.
So when you start contributing around with the people around you, and you start helping with the little with the lot that slowly you're gaining the trust and the confidence to show up. And as always, as when I'm constantly defender of, it's showing up authentically as your true self, not trying to change who you are to fit in, because then you never truly belong.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I'm very strong-minded about, and I keep reiterating this as much as I can.
That's amazing. Speak to us a little more. You're all over the place, right? I love your videos on
Thank you.
Instagram and LinkedIn. I think they're super helpful, especially for immigrants who are making, their journey here. What do you think is that one mistake they make when they come here? Or rather, there's one thing they need to pay attention to, but they don't. And you're starting off with, a new journey in a new country. What is that one thing, or maybe three things, you never know, like that a person needs to look at as they're entering, this new journey in life?
First thing I would highlight is we tend to stick around with people from the same culture as we have. So we tend, like, I'm from Brazil, so I tend to be people. Brazilians tend to gather around other Brazilians because it's more familiar. They feel more comfortable around them. So that's an advice I give. Of course, we can never, we share advice from what our learnings along the way. And the more you get to know different cultures, I think the more you grow as an individual, as a human being, and your perspective widens as well in everything you do, not only as a human, but also as a professional, as, a colleague or, so I think that would be the first advice. Get out of your comfort zone, start focusing on people that you don't know to learn about them. Second one I would say is learn. I go hard in on this one, is cross-cultural communication is something that everybody in Canada should read a little bit more about. When you're present in places that have different cultures, the way you communicate changes, right? From a person that has a background, if you're talking to an American and if you're talking to a Japanese person. So they have different styles of communication. So the little you gain more awareness of these communication styles, the more effective your relationship building will be, because you can understand their pace, why sometimes they're not looking into your eyes. It's not because they're dismissive, it's because their culture doesn't usually do that. So there's a lot of content in that, and I can go on for hours, so I won't be going down that lane, but learning a little bit more about the different communication styles is something that I would highly recommend. And the authenticity piece. Those would be the top three. Just be yourself. Of course, you're in a new country. There are cultural norms and certain things we expect. You are entering that country, so there's some certain things that you have to respect. But you don't need to lose yourself. You don't need to become irrecognizable and not. It's not that. It's just be your true self. Be authentic, know your strengths, and use that in building the connections, the relationships, and highlighting everything that you aim to build in that new country. I always say, when we are our authentic selves and we're vibrating on that level of energy, we're going to be attracting people that value us for who we are, whether it's job opportunities, friendships, partners. Everything, when you're in the same frequency of energy and authenticity, they're going to be drawn to you for your true self, so you don't have to be wearing masks constantly because it's exhausting.
That's amazing
So,
advice.
thank
I
you.
love that.
I think also you immigrated here 7 years ago, and a little bit about your own experience, that you see some of the challenges that you had to encounter, that you're helping your clients, your friends who are recently moved, adjust and adapt. I mean, of course, immigrating to a new country is very difficult, and under current circumstances, even more so, given the affordability piece, given the employment landscape, the way it looks like. What are some of the sort of realities that people are wrestling with, and how are they adjusting? I understand like being of service, but I also want to kind of having immigrated here with my family. I know my family did a lot of volunteering, so there's a lot of that, but that could also be looked upon as exploitation in some ways, where we're using these highly talented people, but not, of course, to this with the same incentives in mind. So what are some of the things, the real trends that you see at the moment, and how do you see some other organizations like yours and within the public policy sector adjusting to this reality?
That's a great question. I personally enjoy volunteering, to the sense, especially when I go back to the building the confidence, your inner confidence, but also building the trust, because we don't come from zero experience. We come from zero trust, right? So no one knows you. So how you build that trust is also key. And one of the ways that I started to gain the trust of my peers and organizations and all of that was I was constantly showing up. And the importance of you being there and showing up, people eventually say, oh, she's reliable, she's there. Whether it was on a volunteer opportunity, whether it was events. I was, of course, also growing a business, so I had to show up in certain circumstances and to events and to be present. But I also see the value in the volunteering. But there are limits to everything, of course. And it has to be to the point that you gain your confidence, enough confidence to go and pursue your actual dreams. Because we didn't come all this way to settle for little, right? We go through a lot in a journey like this, and we have to set ourselves up for success. And also another pillar is the mindset. The more we focus on positive outcomes, it's scientifically proven, right? If we go geek out a little bit, like the RAS, which is called the reactivating articular system, reticular activator system. There you go. Okay. Sorry, it's the short for RAS. If we keep talking here about a certain car and a model, like I always give this example, like a red Tesla. If we talk for lots of time about the red Tesla, we're going to go out and we're going to be spotting red Teslas. Same thing is with success. If we keep focusing on success habits, moments that I, let's say, had to go on stage to pitch my company, if I kept focusing on moments of success, that I had a perfect pitch, a good pitch, that would be enhancing my confidence, and that would be playing the habit of me searching for success proofs in everything I do. And it's backed by science. So and when you tie that to the mindset, when we come here, I always say I didn't leave everything behind, my comfort zone that I had in Brazil. Luckily, I did have a good living. I had a good life there. So I'm like, I came here. I know there are going to be struggles. I'm aware of them. But I came to build something greater than I had back home. It might take, a few steps back to then go a few steps forward, but enjoy the ride, right? And it's always, for me, I try to look at life, and it's not only where I go, it's who I meet along the way. Like you beautiful people. Yes. So it's the journey that counts. I try to engage into that mindset and translate that also into the conversations I have with clients, peers, friends, even in family with my daughter, my husband. So to try to make it lighter along the way. So
I love that.
That's wonderful. And I think the message that you also mentioned is about showing up and being reliable. I think that's super important. And I'm looking back to the event that I actually met you at, which was DMZ's Women of the Year, which you both were nominated for. Congratulations. And you were also nominated for the RBC Entrepreneur. And how are these accolades and this type of visibility has first, I'm sure felt uncomfortable at first to be recognized for all the amazing work that you're doing, because it's not always natural to be recognized for the success. And what sort of, lessons you've learned through those experiences as well.
It was a huge honor, and you're just like, wow. Of course, we struggle a little with the imposter syndrome,
Yes.
right? It's part of it. But then I try to embrace it. And one thing that I've heard a few times is that when we tend, and depending on what the culture you come from, we tend to not reject in a negative way, but say when someone gives you a compliment, we're just like, oh, no, not at all.
Struggled with that too.
Right? So you tend to back out and just, oh, no, I did nothing. But I'm trying this new thing, which is embracing it and saying, thank you. Thank you.
Amazing.
Like, right? So
Yeah.
thank you for seeing me this way. I appreciate it. Because the more we can use ourselves as inspiration for others, the better the world will be, right? If we are able to inspire each other with the talents that we have, the natural abilities we have, if we were all acting in that genius zone, we would be in a much better world, I guess.
Absolutely.
So,
A high tide lifts all the boats.
Yeah.
I agree.
And that's amazing advice to all the women out there. We all have imposter syndrome, and immediately the first thing goes in through our mind is maybe, no, but that's great advice. Embrace it, right?
Embrace
it. You and I met through a podcast. I love doing the podcast with you. Speak to us more about what, I know that's a separate project that you're working on, right? And you do so many things. You're a mom, but you are a speaker. You make some amazing videos to help other people. I love that you are like a influencer across all of these
thank
things.
you.
I love the way you do stuff. You're running your own business and you're like doing all of these things. Want to talk about more about the podcast project and the other things that you're juggling currently?
We'll happily do so. The Find a Way podcast, it was born from me and another female entrepreneur, amazing Ingrid. She's on the West Coast, I'm in the East Coast, and we met in an accelerator we're both part of. And we just started, she came to me and was like, Bia, I think there's not enough platforms highlighting the incredible work immigrants, entrepreneurs are doing. Do you want to start a podcast? I'm like, sure, let's do it. So it's been 3 years we've been going on. So over 100 and, 12, 15 guests from 40 different countries. So
Wow.
it's
amazing.
incredible that we got to meet so many incredible individuals.
Yeah.
So for that, I have a genuine interest in learning about people and meeting new people, because I always think I come out better than I entered, because I got to learn something new about another human. So that's magical. So having an opportunity to, even I always say it's my expensive hobby, because I don't monetize it yet. So even being an expensive hobby, it's like a hobby that I love, and I get to meet interesting people, connect, and even help people in my network, because some of them, they're like, oh, I'm looking for some where they're a mentee of mine, a client or a colleague. I'm like, oh, I know someone that maybe you should connect to. And it becomes an incredible community of individuals that are just working towards, building something big and creating the impact, and understand the journey, that it is to go through this, not only juggle the personal side of family and adaptation of kids in school and husband and wife, whatever, the partner, and also build a business. So it's a great opportunity that I was also blessed to meet Nida.
Aw, I love meeting you too. You're one of my favorite people.
Oh, back at you. So it was really, it has been a very incredible journey, and I'm grateful for it. And Smart Goose, and those are pretty much the two projects. Public speaking is always on sessions or something with the topic, and I do it because I like not because I like to it's not like something like ego. It's more into, if it's an event that I can deliver, amplify a message that I believe in, mission accomplished.
We have the next TED speaker in-house, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I certainly hope that you apply.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
That's my bucket list for sure.
I love that. A lot of people have, like you said earlier on, imposter syndrome, and they don't go through all of that. What is that one advice you would like to give women, especially immigrant, women who come here? What do you think they hesitate with, or they don't put, you know, like there's something that stops them from doing something? You've seen like a trend or a pattern, be it from anywhere. Like, and you've spoken to so many people, like you said, 40 different countries,
Yes.
guests from all over the world. So, what is that one thing you would advise, especially immigrant women, on?
I feel not just immigrant women, some men too, but mostly women,
Mm-hmm.
when you're coming to a new country, and I've heard this from a few of them, they said that they could shine, but not more than the locals.
Oh,
And that for me was a shock. And I'm like, what? And I've noticed it
wow.
was many people have this pattern. They say they can make a noise, they can, grow, but to a level. It's like, oh no, but don't take their space. I'm like, no. If you're doing something good, if you're acting in your purpose, if you want that, you can create the impact wherever you are. If
Mm-hmm.
you're born in that country, if you're not, it doesn't matter. So please don't limit yourself to that. It's not because you came here afterwards, even though you brought so much and you went through the resilience
Mm-hmm.
way high, much higher than many others that haven't gone through this experience. So I say this, you should embrace this, because for the country, if you look at a economic
Mm-hmm.
purpose, it's better if everyone is thriving in the country. We would have a much
Yeah.
healthier economy. So please don't limit yourselves in anything you do. Aim for the sky and just go all the way. And you're going to find people that will support you along the way. That's the most important thing. There are
That's
people that are
fantastic.
lifting others up.
No, that's fantastic advice, because I think that way too, to be honest. Like,
Right?
I'm like, I don't need to be better than the locals. They're already here, they know the game. But that's some really good advice, right? Don't limit yourself there.
Never.
That,
Yeah, no, I think that's super important. And you're adding a new perspective and new networks as well to the equation, which, in Canada, we could benefit a lot from international relationships, whether it's like, building a business with operations in another country. Like, diversification is super important for, thriving of our economy and our society. And I think like that sort of mindset hopefully is we can move past it. And
yeah.
Yeah, I know in theory, and I know we don't see that 100% in the work environments in the day to day. But I still like to believe every time I think about choosing Canada as my home and as
Mhm.
the place I want my daughter to grow up and pick up the references from, I constantly say this. I think Canada is a celebration of humanity. And when we think about it, we should leverage that. So not only the Canadian kindness, that I call it a trademark here in Canada. I've been so overwhelmed in my journey through this past 7 years. Even when I came here, before I moved as a
Mhm.
tourist, I have so many incredible stories of the kindness that
Mhm.
Canadians carry. And that's something that we should truly value. And this diversity that we have here, it's our superpower. So I
Yes.
hope people that are, in powers of position and in decision makers, they see this as it's our differentiator, and it's something we should be incredibly proud of and leverage as much as we can, because that is our superpower.
That's powerful. I agree with you. You mentioned choosing Canada, and you've come here all the way from Brazil.
Yes.
What made you choose Canada?
I have a funny story about it.
Yeah. Love to
We
hear.
we came to as tourists in 2018, me, my husband, and daughter. And we came actually to visit my brother, who was in Detroit at the
Mhm.
time. He was living there. He's an American citizen. So we went to visit him, came back, and we were just like, okay, since we're going to Brazil, let's pick another city and let's
Mhm.
go to Canada and explore. We had such we were overwhelmed with kindness throughout
Mhm.
our 15 days here. And of course, it's a beautiful country. People are nice. I loved listening to the multiple languages as I
Mhm.
was walking in, downtown Toronto. So all of that for me was just like, oh, I feel like I'm in a movie, and you just see this and people holding the doors for you and the
Yeah.
kindness, the politeness. And and that's what I have something with the CN Tower. I was at the top of the CN Tower with my family, And I looked at my Pedro and I said, Pedro, this is the place. It's here. You know, when you have a certain intuition, calling, a gut feeling, God knows what it is, but it's just so strong that you're like, this is the place I have to be.
Mm-hmm.
It was that moment. So that's why people even they make fun of me and send photos of the CN Tower many times. They're like, because I have a thing with the CN Tower, and it's because it was the symbol of when I decided, I'm like, this is the place.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I pass the CN Tower, it's like oh, my dream came true. I'm here. I made it come true. I did my part, and it's just a materialization of a dream coming true for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't take it for granted. I love it. And the CN Tower is a reminder, even on the hard days, it's a reminder of just like, you know what you came here to do. Go for it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it.
I think it's quite the beacon and a representation of climbing those mountains, and just something that I guess you've spoken about confidence not being about volume, but like clarity. And what shifted for you between the woman who arrived in Canada 7 years ago and to what you feel at this stage in your life and your career at the moment, as you're, building out your business and you're focusing on your next steps? How are those two people different now?
Oh, that's a good one too. I started focusing what I did have of strengths, not on what I lacked.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine I'm an architect, so my bachelor's in architecture.
I didn't know that.
Oh no? Okay.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So you're socially architecting success for immigrants.
Right? So I love that. Maybe I should use that as my catchphrase.
Yes,
I love
you
it.
should.
So I'm an architect. My former business in Brazil was in the construction. So I did remodeling. I had projects and all the way from project management to execution. So that was my entrepreneurial journey, was in that.
Okay.
And then when I started back almost 2 years before immigrating, I started also participating in this project, which was the EdTech. That was in technology. I do not have a background in education. And then out of the blue, I'm just immersed in this project and another calling that I had. And that's when we got invited to participate in a program here in Canada, me and my co-founders, and that's when we made the decision. So I came to Canada and I was always focusing on, okay, I have a tech business now, but I don't have a tech background.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about social emotional development for kids, but I'm not the co-founder with the background, and my co-founder was, but I'm not the one with the master's in education. So, started focusing what I didn't have instead of using the strengths. I'm like, okay, so let's shift that a little bit. And that's when I think the true magic started happening, is because I'm like, I'm an architect. I build things. So I can build, businesses, relationships. I started shifting again the growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do have the English, so which is like a huge milestone for many. I was fortunate to have my parents moved around a lot, and from age 8 to 12, I lived in the U.S. So I got to learn the English. So I'm like, I have the English.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm a pretty outgoing person. I can connect. So I started shifting everything that I started not focusing on what I lacked and started focusing on what I did have. And that was the true shift for me, in terms of, okay, I can do this. Let's focus on the strengths. And the other thing is, I think that comes with maturity. I'm not afraid to say that I don't know something. If someone comes to me and I'm in an awkward position, I'm like, can you tell me more? That's not, I don't know how to respond to this, or I don't have enough facts about this. Can you tell me more? So being a little bit vulnerable in that aspect, it's not a sense of, for me, it's not a weakness, or on the contrary, I think it's a strength to say, I don't know about this. Share. Let's talk more. Let me learn from you.
That's some
So
great
that was
stuff.
the shift.
I think that's a real call of leadership, is being surrounded by people much smarter than you in many other disciplines, being able to step away and let those people do the work, but also observe and learn where there's an opportunity to interject or provide support. But I think the position of a true leader is not to be the smartest person with all the answers, is a person willing to learn and listen. I think that's what you demonstrate so well through your experience. And not having technical skills nowadays, thankfully, isn't a big shortcoming, because there's just so much technology that helps us replace those skills anyways.
100%.
And people with soft skills, relationship building building across cultures, as you mentioned, cross-cultural communication. I see that as the biggest asset nowadays in this economy. And as we were looking to build out partnerships across the world, this is what's going to propel the generation of next leaders forward.
I agree. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Speaking about skills, AI is a big deal right now. What do you think about it? What are your thoughts around it? Um, how do you think the next generation is responding as immigrants? What do you think their response should be to AI? Should we fully embrace it? Do you see some shortcomings? What's your experience?
Of course, I think we all use somewhat AI in our lives. I still believe that we are going to be benefiting a lot from AI in many aspects and many job scenarios, in many ways we can benefit from it. But I still think AI will never replace the human component, that honest, true interaction. You can't have it with a bot. As
Agreed.
more humanly possible it can get, it's different. So of course we have to work smart as well and take advantage in the sense of leverage what we have to make our lives easier. But I also believe, and I'm worried for the generation nowadays, because they're trying not to teach people how to think properly. So even like when I don't know how many people are active. I still like to write my posts, and then I go through, whether ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever you want to use, to filter it to see if there's any mistakes or anything of the sort. But the essence of it, I still like to do it myself, because I'm really strong about communicating the message or trying to show up in my truest self. But I'm worried for the generation now, because and we don't need to go as far as AI, but even like Netflix. In my time, when I get home from school, I'd had like 15 minutes from when I arrived from the bus to go to the washroom, get ready, be able to watch on my show, watch the show. After that, I would get lunch. So I had to wait for things. I had the patience into waiting for it. Now it's on the tip of their fingers. Oh no, I don't want to watch this anymore. Yeah. And you could just change it. So patience, I think that is affecting the patience of the kids and the time they need, the process to grow things. So that's my main concern, is the speed of how things are going and the negative effects it can have, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of kids, we have two moms in the room right now.
Yep.
Mothers to Gen Z and Gen Alpha. What is your take about the next generation? I know I have some strong opinions, but I'm not a mother and I don't have... I do interact with Gen Z in the work environment, but what are your like aspiration dreams? Speak more about like your daughter, how's she doing? What's the next goal for her? You did share like you're scared about what AI is doing for the next generation, but let's talk more about how's it raising Gen Zs and Gen Alphas.
I don't know about you, Anna, but one of the things that for a mom is so hard is to prevent them from going through frustrations. It's something that we hate doing, but it's so needed, right? So as a mom, I struggle a lot within those boundaries of what I should let her frustrate herself, because nothing's going to be like, it's not everything that's going to be handed to you. So my main focus with Valentina, and she's 11 now, beautiful young lady, super smart. She's so creative, so creative, very artistic, and all of those things. So I try to, if I want her to learn something from me, and when I'm not in this world anymore, I just want her to find the force within herself, have faith in herself, have the self-awareness, whether it's developing her spirituality within herself, but knowing that she has everything within her to thrive, to achieve. She has all the power within herself. So that for me is my main goal as a mom, for her to channel that, the self-love, the self-confidence, the patience, but also the the certainty that she has everything she needs to thrive, and things will come in her direction while she's focusing on the good outcomes and, you know, doing her part. So I think it's having that inner force, her understanding the inner force she has, if I could narrow it down.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I think that's wonderful. Self-agency is so important.
That's a great name.
You know, and as I'm raising my daughter's Alessia, she's 4 years old. Today I've finally got her confirmed and registered into a school, so I'm just so relieved, you know. And as I was filling out some of the applications, they were asking me about, like, what are her some characteristics and strengths and things like that. And I observe her very carefully, of course, but I give her space to develop that person that she is and all the various qualities, and also let her fail, because failure is such an important teacher. And I want her to be able to fail, try things, maybe not be the best at whatever she approaches, and try again, and have that humility and grace to be okay with that. I don't have, like, you know, I work at a university, so of course I'm very well connected with academics and all sorts of people doing wonderful, crazy things. So I'm always, you know, I have certain aspirations generally, but I would not force her to a particular career path, because of course things are changing so much. And I think the most important thing is being, like, you know, we've shared in our conversations, being curious, passionate, good with people. Leadership is so important. You know, being a great collaborator is going to be even more important as we automate more and more things that are technical.
Yeah.
So just having those wonderful human skills. And I feel like I see her thrive in daycare. She's got lots of friends, that sort of just very soft curiosity and playfulness that she has. I think that will carry her very far in whatever she does. So as a parent, I just want to cheer her on, but also let her try as many things as possible and be okay with not being the best in them, but just being able to try, just to try, and then find whatever her true calling is. And there's going to be so many different versions of herself as she's evolving and learning. And I'm just there as a launching pad of support. But I want her to also figure it out, like you said, that she has the tools to pursue things, try them. And it's a long road learning. It's not a traditional pathway of, this is going to be my career. You're going to reinvent yourself so many times. And as we see with younger generations, they look at office jobs, the 9 to 5, they're like, what is this? They don't see that as a goal anymore, of like working for one organization for many years or in one role. They see portfolio careers as a way of how they're going to structure their lives. And I think that's a big sort of shift that's going to come, is that all these kids, young professionals, they are in this really precarious situation right now, unfortunately. But at this time as well, many of them are going to be taking on different types of projects, just like how we are kind of handling ourselves. And we're creating the pathway, the blueprint. And I think we're in a really important role to showcase what that looks like, what that feels like without shame, and how to do it without burnout and like these unrealistic expectations of 80-hour weeks that we see from tech entrepreneurs and such. But give them a real sort of what that day-to-day life looks like for someone who's a mother and an entrepreneur and an influencer and all these other categories we want to add. But what does that look like? How does that realistically fit in someone's life? And like make it happen for the next generation.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, that's what I like about this generation, but I'm also worried about is they're a little too concerned about themselves all the time, and they protect their own space and peace, which is great. You know, I love that for them, but they protect it a little more than you would like. But I guess that's me as a millennial talking, because I'm like,
I'll pour myself into everything.
Yeah, I'll do everything. I'm here to, you know, give it all. But whereas working with Gen Z, it's like, no, I think I'm done for the day. I'm going to go, you know, do my own thing, spend more time on myself. There was one dude who I work with went, there was something which was like very important we had to deliver. It was 5 p.m. and I was like, oh, can you get this over to me on an email? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, it's 5 p.m. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, it'll take you like 5 minutes. He's like, no, but I promised my girlfriend I'm going to meet her in the next 30 minutes. So if you're okay with it, this can wait till tomorrow, just like directly. And whereas us, our generation and the previous ones, we would just, it's like 5 minutes. Let's put in that work, send that email, and then get done with it. they don't care. They're
Yeah.
like, I need to protect my own peace, which is great, right? It's awesome. But at the same time, as a person who is building something, it's like, are you not worried about what's going here? Like as a millennial, you're worried about, will stuff get done or not? But speaking of which, people taking care of themselves, protecting their own peace, what is that one thing you do? It could be an exercise, it could be spending time with your family. What is that one thing you do to unwind?
Oh my gosh, that's an easy one. I love taking myself out for coffee with a good book.
I love
Ooh,
that.
that's so nice. And how often do you do that?
I try to at least once a week, or once, maybe depending on the weekend if it's too busy. I'll do it at night at home, but I try at least once a week to escape a little bit, take a good book, take myself out for coffee, and just be in the moment. So that's
Love
my
it.
thing.
I love it. A good book is always
And
good.
what book are you reading right now? Is a rapid fire question.
I'm actually reading now the A Man's Search for Meaning from
That's my favorite book.
Victor Frankl.
Yes.
Really?
That's my favorite book.
I'm
read this in
devouring it.
2017.
Oh my gosh, I read half of it in one day, and I'm just like,
Amazing.
the other half I'm probably going to get in the train ride back home today.
It's amazing. I love that book.
So good.
What's that one thing you love about that book?
Reading, I read the first half, so it's a lot about the story and the
Yep.
concentration camp. So it's kind of absurd, the two extremes, how cruel humans can become with what they
Yes.
did, and at the same time how resilient humans
Yes.
are. So it's just a clashing all the time when I'm reading everything they went through. It's just crazy to imagine people going through all of that,
Yes.
and people overcoming all of that,
Yeah.
So the two sides of it.
For me, I was reading this book when my mom was going through a lot of health issues. And for me, it was like the end of the world at that time, right? She had multiple brain hemorrhages, strokes, there was a lot of health stuff going on. And I was like, oh, I'm losing my mom, my best friend, all of that. I think this book put things into perspective, right? It helped me like count my blessings. She's here. She's able to get the help she needs. We're
Yeah.
all around her. And through that book, you actually feel like to your point, there's so much resilience in these people, right? There's so much going on, like the absolute pressure and trauma around them, but still like coming out of it and just facing each day. That story is
Yes.
about facing each day, one at a time. I think that's what like helped me through my personal journeys. It's one of my favorite books, and it was actually one of my friends from school who gifted that to me. We were doing like a book exchange. I don't know if you guys did that. Like you send one book, but you get 5 books in return because you're sending it in like circles. You should totally do that if you guys are open to
I
it. So
love it.
basically, what happens is it's a circle. You send one book to someone completely anonymous, and then you receive 5 in return because there are 5 other people sent. It's like a circle thing, and so you end up getting like books which other people enjoy, and you have like, so you don't have to buy new books. You could send a book which you've already read from your library, your section of books that you've read, and it's so nice to see people put notes and stuff to it. And the book I received from my friend had her notes on it, and I did not know she was going through some of the stuff because I never spoke to her that much in school. It was like a good friend, but not a good friend, not a best friend. And I was like, I remember immediately calling her up, and I'm like, I didn't know you were going through this personally. And she was like, yeah, well, oh, I forgot I had my notes on it, but see. And then I learned something about a person who I thought I knew, and
Wow.
it was a nice way to like get reacquainted and speak to that person after so many years.
Yeah, and the other powerful thing, also mentioning everything you said, like counting the blessings and all, is the power of no one can get into your mind. That's something
Yes.
that we should treasure it so much. It's our
Yes.
mind, and we have the power. We can still focus
Yeah.
on what we have internally here. So, and that's the only possible way that they survived all of that. It's with the mindset, mindset work. And it's heavy. The first half is quite heavy, but now I'm in the chapter of the logotherapy, so I'm excited to
Yeah, that's
to
fun.
dig into that.
That's going to be fun. All right, as we wrap up, and it was exciting having you here, what would you leave every listener, and not just immigrants, what would you leave them with? One piece of advice, one favorite quote, what, or your life philosophy? You shared so much already. You're, I think, an exceptional person. You do everything. You're caring, you're loving, you go out there and you give. What's that one piece of, I guess, advice or your life philosophy that you would like to share with everyone?
Or what energizes you at the end of the day?
That's a better question.
I'll start with a quote that I really love. Is no one can make you feel inferior without your consent, by Eleanor Roosevelt. So I just made peace that I won't give consent to being seen as inferior. We can be different, we can agree, we can disagree, but I'm not inferior. So I think that's something everyone should carry. Just not give consent to that. You determine your value, your self-worth. And the second part with it, what fuels me, two things, of course, my family and my loved ones, being, contributing everything for them, and just being there and contributing and being around their presence. It's just such a blessing. And meeting people and connecting and learning about other humans, because I think I can almost guarantee that I can say I know that we are here in this universe. We're all on the earth to evolve together, and one of the ways we're able to do that is by learning from each other. So that's the power of connection for me, and the building relationships. So I treasure that very much, and it fuels me very much.
That's powerful. I love that.
It's wonderful. We very much need people that bring others together and give them access to various resources and supports. It's so important. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
One piece of thing, a fact that I want to share with you. When I started off this journey, you were the first people I wanted on the podcast. And I was like, I have to have Beatriz. I don't know if I've shared that with you. I was like, I need to have. You were like my first go-to, woman. I'm so glad we did this episode with you.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. This was an amazing session. I
had the best time. It's so amazing. Thank you. Closing off the week, no way. It can't be better. Perfect
Friday.
way. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
honored.
you.
Oh, this is so fun.
Yay.